In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and he saw it as good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image." And God said to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, have dominion over every living thing. Be fruitful and multiply." God created so we could create.
This is The Pitch, an event to showcase the Cedarville students who are creating and building, a place to celebrate entrepreneurs building the kingdom. Welcome and enjoy the show.
All right. Who's ready for a good time?
Dare I even say a great time this evening?
Okay, just to make sure everybody's paying attention, we're going to start off with a little exercise. Is that okay? Okay. All right, I'll explain it real quick, and then we're actually going to try it. So I'm going to put out my hands like this, and every time my hands pass through each other, you guys are going to have to clap, okay? So let's practice one time, okay? Okay. Okay, now we're ready. Okay, now we're good. Can you hold this mic, please?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. That was very good, George.
Good,
I'm glad
good.
you had to do that.
Oh, of course. And now, everyone, welcome to The Pitch. We're ready for a great night.
We sure are. George, don't you usually just kind of talk into a screen, not really this big crowd of people? How you feeling?
That's sometimes it's a little different for me, but I'm feeling good.
That is great. My name is Emily Tuttle, and I am a junior journalism major.
And my name is George Merritt, and I am a junior biblical studies major.
One thing about us, guys, as tour guides, we basically run this university backwards.
Yeah, it's a good time. But they wanted us to come talk to you guys today, so we're ready for a good night.
We sure are excited to be here. Tonight, guys, we have the opportunity to hear from some brilliant students with even better pitches who have the opportunity to win the grand prize of $1,000 toward their business idea.
And along with our contestants winning some money, there will be an opportunity for you guys to win some things. We'll be giving away a speaker, headphones, an Apple pencil, and an hour lunch with myself.
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. And that will be given away towards the end of the pitch. And if you guys didn't get a chance to scan the QR code, don't worry. It'll be coming up in the middle of the show, so be ready.
That's right. You do not want to miss that opportunity. Now let's get right into it and introduce our judges for this evening. First off is a seasoned entrepreneur and CEO of Daniel Defense, who brings deep experience in scaling purpose-driven, product-focused companies, including co-founding and leading the AI health analytics firm Springbuck to serve thousands of organizations worldwide. Please welcome Rod Reason.
All right, and our next judge is a partner at Level Up Entertainment and a self-made entrepreneur who's built multiple companies from the ground up. At just 26, he's an award-winning performer, a Forbes 30 Under 30 nominee, and has worked alongside the Grammys and A-list celebrities. Welcome, DJ Code.
Our final judge for the evening is a seasoned vet at The Pitch, co-founding and managing partner of Ideal Strategic Partners, where he leads and scales a portfolio of 60-plus customer packaged goods brands while mentoring the next generation of faith-driven entrepreneurs. Please welcome back to the stage, Scott Moffitt.
Judges, thank you for being with us tonight. All right, now to introduce our first entrepreneurs of the night. You may have seen them around campus thinking they're the same person, but they are not the same person. They are, in fact, twins. Funny story, for the first few times I've seen these guys, honestly, for the first year I was here, I thought they were the same person, but they really are, in fact, twins. Rest assured, you do not need your eyes checked. Here are two senior IT management majors, John and Josiah Hardaway.
Most organizations assume they know exactly who has access to their systems until someone identical shows up with the same level of access. If you're confused right now, good, because that confusion is exactly how threat actors get in. Sadly, 43% of all cyber attacks that strike this continent target churches and nonprofits. Why? Because they often store sensitive donor and member information, but lack the full-time IT and cybersecurity teams. We've even seen heartbreaking cases. One church lost $1.75 million in a single attack. For many, this isn't just financial loss, it's a mission-hindering event. We're reminded of the Proverbs, which tell us that a prudent sees danger and hides himself. Cybersecurity is not about fear, but about foresight. At Twin Centuries, we seek to help organizations live out this wisdom by seeing danger before it strikes. So our approach to help these organizations combat these issues comes in a three-step model we call the Twin Century Security Triad. Firstly, we assess. So we perform network scans, automated and manual testing to identify vulnerabilities that pose risk to these organizations. Secondly, we secure. So we implement antivirus software, patching, and updates to better ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of systems and user data. Thirdly, we equip. So we know that in the extensive chain of cybersecurity, humans are always the weakest link, which is why we seek to train and equip staff members through phishing awareness training and InfoSec sessions to better prevent errors that occur in that organization due to human error, and all at a cost that these organizations and churches can afford. So just a look into our target market, we're primarily looking to serve churches and ministries as well as smaller private schools and then local small businesses. We realize that they're doing the work that shapes their communities, and we want to make sure that nothing stops that mission. And so we're also trying to make cyber more affordable through a 3-tier subscription-based model, starting at $200 a month, which will consist of risk and vulnerability assessments, and then email security checks, and then in-person and virtual consulting sessions. And then we'll scale up from there, just depending on the needs and desires for that organization. So at the heart of our service, what we call the Centuries Watch app, pretty much your organization's digital watchman. It contains a security health dashboard for easy monitoring, in addition to training resources and secure document storage. We've designed the interface to be intuitive so that even non-technical teams can still stay cyber ready. And so here's a brief demo into the minimum viable product. Just top it again. And so upon logging into the app, you'll be met with a cyber health score, and this is comprised of 6 different areas of security. With our organization, you can see how they're calculated using different security tools. And then you can go to an incident response page. You can edit the scores just based on ad hoc changes that need to be made as an admin. And so for the incident response page, you can report things like phishing, and let's say someone got into your account without your knowledge, and then a security analyst will respond accordingly. And then next we have a training portal. Let's say you don't know what phishing is or even cyber. That will walk you through the fundamentals from the context of a smaller organization. There's a place to store your documents. And then lastly, we have a helpful AI chatbot where you can just ask general questions about how to navigate the app, as well as just questions about cybersecurity. Ideally, we want this to be able to consolidate the user's input and take it to someone who can help. And so for acquiring leads, one way that we want to help these organizations realize the risks that they face at no upfront cost is a free one-time vulnerability assessment, which will consist of an automated scan using open source tools such as the one you see on the screen, as well as website checks and then security policy checks as well. And so we plan to start in our home state of Tennessee and just do in-person sessions as well as email and phone campaigns. We just want to build a relationship with potential clients, but we also want to build trust as well. So we plan on putting our own resources together, such as blogs and publications, as well as building a social media presence. So our goal is simple: service for organizations and churches who are not as well equipped as bigger Fortune 500 companies. We do this through providing security because we believe that people and resources matter, and protecting them are essential in today's constantly evolving digital world. At the heart of this is stewardship. We believe that God calls all of us to be good stewards of what we have been entrusted with. We believe that your mission matters most, and that your people matter most, and that by guarding them, we are being faithful stewards of what God has entrusted us with. So let's join you in seeing danger before it strikes, and to keep your mission standing strong. I'm Josiah.
And I'm John.
And we're Twin Centuries, guarding your mission in the digital age. Thank you very much.
I'll jump in because I think they instituted this time clock because I always take too much time. So I'll try to go as quickly as possible. First of all, great job, guys. I mean, your presentation, clearly you came prepared. You knew the problem you came to solve. You have a good plan to try to solve it. I took quite a few notes. I like the 3 stages. You're breaking it down, making it very digestible. The equip and the human element, I'm a huge fan of that connection. It's going to make it more sticky. I guess I'm just wondering, is that more of an account management or kind of an integration tool? Is it like an onboarding, or is it a consistent account manager role? Because as you scale, if it's an account manager, that's going to need to scale headcount also.
That's a good question. Yeah, I think it would look like things like regular phishing training for staff, and just teaching them about identity and access management, different areas of security, just general email security and mobile phone security as well. So.
You just answered one of my next questions, which is great. Which what I love is you're empowering your customer, right? So it's not to do it for you, but it's empowering them to bring that in house. So that's a big differentiator. That was going to be one of my questions. You also talked about your blogs and publications, becoming a thought leader. Nuggets of valuable information. You're in the right place at the right time. Cybersecurity has never been more important as it is now, and it gets more important every day. So the one other thing, you had your pricing models. So it's like a SaaS, technology as a service, a SaaS, software as a service model. The recurring revenue, I'm just curious, those price points, what process did you go through to come up with those? Was that based on what your expenses to be, affordability, consumer insights? What did you do to come up with that pricing model?
Yeah, I think all those things. We also looked at some other companies who had pricing for cybersecurity, so we kind of just looked around and also just kind of picked prices that we seemed were affordable to smaller organizations.
Yeah, to kind of pick up off of that, what a lot of other MSSPs are doing is they charge per user, per device. So we know with smaller organizations, they'd be wanting to handle something easier, more like a subscription-based model. So that was kind of our thinking behind that.
It's almost like a fractional. I love it.
Yeah.
No, great job, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, great job to you both. That was amazing. Thank you guys for presenting as well. So I really loved the presentation. You're twins. I don't know which one came out second. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be a struggle for me. Okay. Yeah, you could point to either one. I'll be. It's all right. So that was a great presentation. I think it was captivating. It was funny. So especially at the beginning. So catching the investor, catching the person you're presenting to is really, really important. So thank you for that. I think one of my questions was what is your response time when it comes to catching a cybersecurity? So if I write in and say, hey, something's going on, what is your guys' response time and how do you guys combat that?
Yeah. So I think our main goal for our model right now is to our main goal is to equip and secure to prevent that kind of stuff from happening. So as for response, I don't know.
Yeah, so that would be on-call support. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
right.
yes.
So I think that's included in the 800, the third tier model.
Okay, so that's depending on part of the tiers,
right.
then basically.
So depending on what tier of service you choose, that would be included in that, the 24/7 monitoring type thing.
Awesome, thank you. The other question that I had as well is you guys said you're starting in, you said Tennessee, is that correct?
Yes.
So how are you guys actually marketing this? Is it like you walk into a church and you're just hey, this is what we do, or how do you guys market exactly?
Right.
That's kind of our goal is we've kind of already emailed a few churches that we've been in contact with, so just kind of cold emailing, sometimes reaching out straight through, going to them through church.
Yeah, I think surveys are also a good thing. Just hey, how comfortable do you feel about your security at this point? And that would, we would lead that to get them interested in, thinking about security in the first place.
and then getting them interested in the services we provide. So.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Great job.
Well, good job, guys. John, Josiah?
Yes, you got it.
All right, cool. I go third, it's easier. So, great presentation. I think you've already heard that. But do you have customers today?
Not right now. That would be our next step, is reaching out to potential clients.
Okay,
So.
all right, good. So pre-customer, how do you expect, or are you expecting to work with any customers early on for the product lifecycle? Do you have anybody identified as an early adopter?
Yeah. So are you talking about like first customer?
Beta customer? Yeah.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
a beta.
Yeah, I'd say definitely churches that we've visited in the past. I mean, that's kind of how I guess our service kind of came to be. We actually found that one of the churches we had been visiting had like an insecure protocol. So that probably be one of our main first people to go to would be someone in the church. Then probably smaller private schools. Yeah, so schools are increasing like targets for attacks, so they would be up there too, alongside churches and other nonprofits. So, yeah.
Okay, technical question, on-prem or on device?
So for like, are you talking about like antivirus?
Network,
versus,
right, like where is the install of the software?
Right, so for the install, that would be like on device, so it would be available via like a mobile app, also like a computer as well. But it would tie back to like the security tools that are being used. So for a lot of those tools, they have APIs, so it would be pulling from those APIs. And so the actual storage and scanning would be done like, in servers that are on-prem. But it would be available via like mobile. And
Are you both software developers?
oh, we're actually not. We're ITM focusing on cyber.
Okay.
But
good,
we have
good
some
MVP.
coding experience.
Good MVP.
That's it.
Thank you, guys.
Our next contestant of the evening is passionate about reducing fashion waste through innovative AI solutions. George, did you buy that new suit just for tonight? Because I'm thinking you might be part of our problem.
Well, actually, I borrowed it from Will Wood, so shout out Hustle House.
I heard they hustle all day long. They're not even allowed to sleep over there.
No, not at all.
They're not. But our next contestant is sure to love that whole borrowing thing.
That's right.
And hustling, probably. Please welcome to the stage, Rhoda Roby.
Think with me for a moment. You try to buy a single piece of clothing from a fast fashion brand, and it might last you for maybe like 6 months to 1 year, or let it be even a branded company and it lasts you even longer. No matter what you buy or how much it costs, the question remains the same. What happens to that piece of clothing at the end of the day? Let me tell you a small story about a piece of clothing in your wardrobe right now. First, it becomes something that you no longer use. Maybe because you just don't like it on you anymore. Maybe because it's torn. Maybe it's just because it's winter right now. We won't use summer clothes. No matter what the reason is, you take it out of your wardrobe in your dorm, the next place it goes is a secondhand store, unaware of what is the end journey of that single piece of clothing. Over there, it's hung. Maybe having the possibility of having another owner, but if that's not the case, it takes its second journey. Its second journey, it's taken out of the rack, sold, sorted, compressed, and bundled with 100 other garments, unaware of where it's going to go. Maybe it can be resold, maybe it can be rags, or maybe even it can go across countries. But still, 85% of those waste ends up in landfills. They are buried beneath layers of waste, and these slowly breaks down and releases chemicals that is harmful for the planet Earth. This is the system that you and me have normalized. Good evening. My name is Rhoda Roby, and my company is called The Twin World. Now, what exactly is the problem? The world produces 92 million tons of textile waste every single year. And guess what? That is one garbage truck of textile waste every single second that's being dumped. Now, why are we talking about this right now? It's because the global south has been the dumping grounds for the textile and fashion industry. Countries like Kenya and Tanzania has been bearing our burdens of fashion waste. In Kenya alone, in 2019, they imported almost 185,000 tons of second-hand clothes, out of which 40% was just pure waste. This is not circular economy. This is basically exporting one waste to another country. Now, that's why we created Twin World. Twin World is a digital platform where you can turn your waste into opportunity. Our main mission is to be the connecting point for brands, small businesses, and consumers to create a circular fashion economy. Beginning with our first phase, upcycled marketplace. This is a marketplace where you can buy our products, which is highly quality, reclaimed fashion, and also a direct pathway for me to have the connection with consumers. Our website will be working in two phases. Let me begin. Phase one, partnership. This is where brand to business happens. Big brand companies can tell us, like, hey, we have surplus inventories and fabric. Would you, any of the small businesses, would you rather come and take this highly qualitative products and make it to something that's productive, instead of the brand companies making these textiles into an absolute waste? Second phase is our AI. This is more focused for the consumers, and this works in 3 steps. First one, upload. If you have a cloth that's in your wardrobe that you want to make it, maybe the recently produced trendy styles, just do a simple thing. Take a picture of it, and it'll ask you questions on what the material is, how long it is, and it takes you to the second step, which is redesign. Our AI generates sketches and blueprints of this design, which will take you to the third step, is reuse. Reuse means you can take it to the local tailor that's right next to you, or you can even try to stitch it in your convenience at your own home. Global reach. Now, Twin World will be working on a global scale, and there is 3 main pillars for that. First one is NGOs. We truly believe that NGOs that is focused on textile and sustainability will be our biggest marketplace. They will be the reason why we will be needing this product. Second is the UN experience and networks. This past summer, I had the privilege to intern at the United Nations, and this was one of the reasons why I was able to research about fast fashion. And to regenerate those connections and networks will help me. Second, and not the least, the small business. We truly believe that small business is the backbone of the economy, and the local tailoring communities will help us in reconnecting our places. Now, our financial roadmap. Our capital expenses will be in between 150,000 K to 300K, and our operation will be around 80,000 K and 120,000, and revenue with a profit margin of 15 to 25, and also our payback will be within 3 to 4 years. Let me conclude. The clothing in your wardrobe don't need to be a waste. It can turn into an opportunity. That's what Twin World does. That turns waste into taste. Thank you. So sorry.
All right, I'll start us out. Great presentation. Love your enthusiasm. Isn't she great? You had a whole fan group out here. Yeah.
They're awesome. I love them.
See that? There you go. Yeah. Which goes a long way, just having good people behind you. But obviously a big problem. You've presented that. Very good job doing that. Why do you want to tackle this problem?
That's a really good question. My brother always says that a business becomes a thing is when you find a problem in the community, and when you find a solution to it, that's when it becomes a business, right? And at the United Nations this summer, they kept telling me that fast fashion and textile waste is a huge thing. They were able to like convince us that it's a problem and the next generation should find a solution to it, but there was no solution. And I was called, with the inspiration of my brother's question, to move forward with it. Why don't I, who's a Christian, who represents Cedarville, no matter where I go, needs to find a solution to this. So that's the inspiration that I got.
That's great. Well, Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, nothing gets done without enthusiasm. So great job. Keep up that enthusiasm. You're going to go far.
Thank you.
So enthusiastic. So thank you. It was a great, great pitch. So thank you so much. One of my questions is actually about your website, and it could just be like an addition. I don't know if you've thought through this specific part. One of the things that I see a lot sometimes on websites, and especially like using ChatGPT, is I can put like a shirt in ChatGPT, a picture, and then I can say, put this shirt on me. Like I can upload a picture. Yeah. So I'd love to see something on your website where I can actually see myself and upload a picture that way as well. Because I'd like to
I'm constantly reminded that we have to our mind, and so I almost view this as a virtual thrift store where you can go and you can get really nice clothes. You don't have to go out and try them on. You don't have to get in the car and go anywhere. Like, this is an online thrift store. So if you charged a membership fee and like a SaaS model, that recurring revenue is going to have a really high valuation model, and you'll have that stickiness. So just my 2 cents, I think it's a great idea. I think you did a great presentation, and you should be really proud of yourself. So
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Honestly, just let me be the fourth one to say it, Rhoda. The passion and enthusiasm was absolutely exquisite this evening.
And I'll be the fifth one. Great energy, truly. All right, now for our next entrepreneurs of the night, they are changing the smoothie game. Let's be honest, we've all wanted a tropical smoothie on campus, and these contestants might have the answer for that. Please welcome to the stage Leah Zarilli and Nathan Reynolds.
A lot of students on campus are tired of Panda, Chick-fil-A, and Chuck's. But not because it doesn't taste good, it's because it often lacks the nutritional needs and desires that a lot of students on campus have, especially and mainly in the fruit department, am I right? You know, there's not many fruit options on campus. You can go to Chuck's, but it costs an entire scan, and oh wow, bananas and apples. Is the quality all there? Not really. The best option is actually Chick-fil-A. We have to travel all the way across campus, spend nearly $5 for a bowl that's really not that big. It doesn't really fill you up, especially for a big and tall guy like me. So,
that's where Cedar Blends comes in. Cedar Blends is a student-run smoothie company here on campus that prioritizes giving our students fresh, clean, and healthy smoothies. We have no added sugars, no extra additives. It's simply fruit, milk, or orange juice. So this is a menu that I created over the summer. This is not AI, actual pictures, guys. So these are pictures of our actual products. We have 5 flavors so far, but the ones in front of you guys today is a special pitch smoothie, so that's exciting. We have extra add-ins and substitutes that we would love to incorporate later. So far, moving forward, our business model that we would like to adapt is a crumble cookie type business model where each week we would have a new flavor, and each week we would present just one flavor to really get the hype about that flavor. So how would you pay for this? Well, it's only $5, and so far we just have Cash, Venmo, and Cash App, but eventually if we would be incorporated into the Flex Dollar system here at Cedarville, you guys could pay for it with your Flex Dollars.
now hold on, Cedar Blends. Renova has smoothies. What are we trying to do here? Are we just ripping them off? Of course not. There's a key difference between our smoothies and their smoothies. As we mentioned, they're whole fruits. It's whole juice, straight from nature, nothing more, nothing less. Theirs isn't. That's just totally fine, but we're targeting completely different audiences here. We're targeting someone who wants to have a healthy incorporation of their diet while still enjoying a tasty treat. Theirs aren't. It's totally okay, I just want to clear that up. Renova, don't ban me, I like your coffee.
So how do we reach this target audience? Well, we already have an Instagram page. If any of you guys haven't followed it yet, give it a follow, Cedar Blends. We already have 171 followers, and we just posted it a couple months ago, so that's super exciting. This is our platform where you can see our products, when we're going to be at events, when we're tabling, important information like that. So far, our first event that we have done is Sidewalk Saturday. This was a really exciting event for our company. We had roughly 60 sales, $330 in revenue, $200 in gross profit, and this was all in less than 2 hours. And from the looks of our customers, we got some great feedback. Everyone loved our product, and it was a huge success. We also were able to table at the Impact Conference. We gave a smoothie to Dr. White. He said it was great. Don't take my word for it, take his. We also were able to just reach professionals and professors here on campus. We got a lot of great feedback from them. And what was really impressive about this was that we had roughly 15 sales, $75 in revenue, $50 in gross profit, and this was all in less than 30 minutes.
Now this is great and all, but is it actually affordable? Is this a realistic thing to happen? And the answer is a resounding yes. This is kind of the simple startup for what I like to call Operation Lemonade Stand. It's the very simple basics of Cedar Blends, the foundation of it. And The estimated total is $960. And if I remember correctly, if we win the pitch, we get 1,000. So we'll have enough money and then some to actually make this happen. This isn't a dream, this is a blueprint of something that can actually happen next week if the Cedarville administration gives us the okay for it. That's cool and all, but is this expandable? Can we actually grow this? Can this be more than just a little lemonade stand? And the answer is also a resounding yes. Our cost of goods right now is $1.75, lending us a profit margin of $3.25. It's pretty good, but right now we're buying directly from a distributor. If we buy from a supplier, if we grow our funds and get a supplier, our cost of goods goes down dramatically. And what does that mean? That means the price of the smoothies goes down. Our audience members are Cedarville students. It's not like we have money growing on trees here. So the cheaper the smoothie, the more we come closer to accomplishing our goal of creating a more healthy, nutritious, balanced diet for the average Cedarville student. But is it worth expanding into? And the answer is also a resounding yes. The smoothie market is $12.5 billion, the majority of which being smoothie bars itself, which is what we eventually want to grow into, a kind of Chipotle-style thing where you get to go up there and customize your own smoothie with your own fruit, with your own add-ons, maybe smoothie bowls, whatever you want. Protein powder, peanut butter, whatever you want, you make. It's your choice. It caters to your desires and your nutrition goals. Cedarville, it just doesn't have anything like that. And we all desire this. The fruit market, it's even bigger than that. I remember last year, there was a fruit night at Shucks, a random Thursday night. The line was literally out the door. Now, I don't know if you're new here, but Shucks and line out the door isn't exactly something you hear in the same sentence all the time. So clearly there's a need for this, right? So I'm up here to ask the Cedarville administration, to ask investors, let's make this actually happen. Whoever can help us to actually establish Cedar Balloons on campus, let's do it. Everyone wants it, right? Fruits, smoothies, yes, we want that. Guys, Cedar Blends is the most affordable, the most realistic, the most practical, and the tastiest solution to one of Cedarville's biggest problems. So who wants a smoothie? I do.
Thank you, guys.
So, first and foremost, this is amazing. Every single one of you should be jealous of me right now. I'm just letting you know that. Number two, great job. Seriously, it was a great job to you both. Smoothie is great. I did just have a few questions, maybe like one suggestion as well. My first question is, how are you going to plan to scale this somewhere else? Is it just a Cedarville thing? What is your thought on that?
Yeah, so right now what we're looking to do is either just be on Cedarville to start or partner with Renova so that we can simply just get our product out to the Cedarville family here. Eventually it would be great to expand, but right now it would just be here at Cedarville.
Okay, awesome. And then my last question, and it's a comment with a question. I would like to see some more branding on the cup as well. I think a lot of people, when doing concerts and things, like I'll get a smoothie or a shake or something like that, and I'll just walk away and forget the vendor, right? And so having something on the cup to remind me who I got this from and the meaning behind it, I think would be really, really beneficial for you, and it could actually help your marketing as well. So do you have more of a marketing strategy as far as stuff like that? Are you doing merch or anything like that, or what is your thought?
Yeah, that's a great thought. Thank you so much. We would definitely implement something like that for sure. Right now, it's just our really word of mouth and our Instagram page. But other than that, we don't have much marketing. We talked about shirts as well, just at least for the employees to start. But again, right now, it's our Instagram mainly. So.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
A good enthusiasm again. Food and franchising, very difficult business. You know that. But you have a built-in audience here that most companies don't get. So I love the idea of starting it here, working out a lot of the things that you would naturally have to do in the business world. You do it in a soft climate here. So that's a really, really good idea. Beyond scale, have you thought about, the word is modularity. Have you thought about all of the ingredients that you want to do? When you go into Chipotle, it's a few ingredients that can do a multitude of various choices. So have you thought about what those core ingredients need to be?
Yeah, I mean, just like the basic stuff like pineapples, mangoes, strawberries, banana, and then like the common things that everyone wants, like if you're like a bodybuilder, you got peanut butter, protein powder, just everything that like you just throw into a smoothie and it'll taste good pretty much regardless. So
Adding on to that, our simple startup menu is very basic. So we have just like your typical strawberry, banana, things like that. So starting out, we're not too complicated right now. Our main flavor that we have been making for our tabling events is mango pineapple. So it's just mango, pineapple, and orange juice. So to start off, very basic, just fruit and juice or either milk. But moving forward, we would love to expand that for sure.
This is a brand play, so I agree. Your brand on everything, and as many fans, you have a lot of them in the crowd, as many fans as possible, because the raw material it can be picked up anywhere, but this is going to be a brand following.
Thank you.
Great job, and it does taste amazing. I will tell you, anytime I see something that, no sugar added or sugar-free, two things go through my mind. Number one, this isn't going to taste good. And number two, it probably has an artificial sweetener, which is even worse than sugar. So that wasn't the case with this at all. I loved it. It wasn't too sweet. There's that. It had just enough sweetness to where it had that good flavor, but then you knew that you weren't. It wasn't like candy. You know what I mean? It was really good. And your presentation was fantastic. Couple questions, comments. I like your price point, the $5 price point, because I understand your market. You're working with college students and where you are, so you're adapting to where you are right now. I'm just curious, what went into that price point? Because as was mentioned, with different ingredients, inflation, where you're buying it from. I mean, was it more so being able to sell it to your customers at the price point for them, or was it more just looking at what your margins might be? How did you develop that price point?
Yeah, it's 100% a mix of both. So $5 is a nice even number, like, $4 or $5, it's kind of the same in a lot of people's minds. The other thing is it allows us for an over 50% profit margin. Like, we want to eventually expand this, and we need some money to work and grow with that while still not being like incredibly expensive. Since we're buying directly from a distributor as well, our cost of goods are a bit higher than normal, so we kind of have to raise the price higher than what a normal smoothie might be. But I think it's still pretty reasonably priced for what it is. So
It's very reasonably priced. In fact, your margins will only grow. I think you could probably even charge outside of a college campus probably $6, $7, maybe $8. Because I saw some of the add-ons, and I was going to ask, but I would assume that the add-ons
like
would
extra
go.
probably, yeah.
The students are like, no way, no. But when you get outside of campus, that's what you would typically pay for, a higher-end, healthy smoothie. That's the world. But as far as the model and the growing, just my 2 cents. I love the cedar blends because you're on Cedarville. If I knew nothing about your brand and I heard cedar blends, I would think it would probably had something to do with cedar trees or wood. And so I generally like, as the head of my advisory board sitting down there always likes to say, is having a brand that you would know what it is without actually even seeing anything, right? And so one thing I would just encourage you, being a brand play, because there are so many competitors and there's not critical differentiators. The differentiator is you, and it's your brand story and what you stand for. And so I would encourage you to really think beyond the product. People do business with companies they trust, companies they like. That's where that brand loyalty is going to come in. And so were you going to say something?
Yeah, just exactly. It is a brand play because your raw material is basic like everyone else's. But you have an audience here that loves you, so use them. I guarantee you're going to come up with a better brand, and it's going to come from your users. So use them effectively.
And I'm not going to be invited back because I told you to raise your prices, but that's okay. No, I'm just kidding. No, but as far as roadmap, if you guys really wanted to scale this, my recommendation I would have is outside of Cedarville, after you prove it out, like Rod said, try to sublease some space, like maybe go into a gas station, see if there's a corner that they're not utilizing, and if you could set a stand there, just try to implement. You don't need to go and sign a lease or get spaces. Like, you crawl before you walk before you run, get those spaces, and then longer term, potentially put together with the brand equity, because that's the only way that would work, the franchise model. If you have a franchise model, then you have people that are kind of carrying your brand with you, and you're getting royalties. So, but I thought it was a great pitch, and I'm going to go back to drinking my drink. By the way, I was at Impact, and I didn't get one of these, so I don't know where you were, but I missed you.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Really good pointers.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Feeling like the host could have gotten a bit of a smoothie.
I know, the judges got some, I was thinking. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
feeling
talk
a little
about that
parched,
one later.
but All right, guys, we are going to take a brief break for a bit of some halftime entertainment, so don't go far. George, you got that unicycle, right?
Oh, nope. I was practicing it last night, ended up falling off. But you know what is almost just as good as watching me ride a unicycle? Some entrepreneurship trivia.
Woo!
That's right.
Yeah,
All right,
thank
here we
you.
go.
All right, guys, we are going to get right into it with some questions. So first off, we're going to need some participation to it. It'll make it a lot more fun, a little bit less like pulling teeth. So which entrepreneur was fired from his own company in the late 1980s, but later returned? We have A, Bill Gates, B, Michael Dell, C, Steve Jobs, or D, Will Woods?
Oh.
All right. You know, I actually didn't know that Will Woods has been alive since 1980. And
Me neither.
it's Steve Jobs right down
Good,
front.
good
Yep,
on you.
Appreciate that. Great work. All right. On to the next one here.
Okay, next question. Which company started as a gaming company before pivoting to the workplace communication? A, Discord, B, Slack, C, Microsoft Teams, or D, Zoom?
Gonna go Zoom here. Shoot. Yeah. All right,
No,
Slack.
Slack,
Hey, cut
okay.
me some Slack.
Yeah, good
Thanks.
one.
Thanks, appreciate that. All right, guys, which famous startup began as a side project to help its founders share photos from a trip? A, Snapchat, B, Instagram, C, Pinterest, or D, Flickr? What do you think?
Flickr, what's
Flickr?
that?
Flickr?
Yeah,
It's
let's
hard
go
to
with it.
say. Maybe that's it then.
I don't know.
And it is B, Instagram.
Oh.
You know, I feel like we probably could have gotten
Okay.
that one. I'm about 0 for 3 at this point.
I'm 0 for 3 too.
All right, on to the next.
Okay,
I'm feeling
next
good.
question.
All right, guys, we're gonna need maybe a little bit more out of
Yeah,
you.
guys,
We'd
you're a little
appreciate
quiet
it.
out there.
Makes
It's
our
okay.
job easier.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
Okay, what was Airbnb's original way of making money during its earliest days? A, charging cleaning fees, B, renting out vacation homes, C, selling breakfast cereal, or D, advertising to hotels? Oh, thank you.
Oh, hey.
Oh, wow.
Selling breakfast cereal. Hey, shout
That's
out
phenomenal.
Obama O's. Not sure if I've ever had those before.
Never,
but,
never in my life.
Might have to get those another time. Okay, and before becoming a global social network, which was Facebook's earliest created to do at Harvard? A, share class notes, B, rate professors, C, rank students' attractiveness, or D, organize study groups?
Oh, that's just not right.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
tough to say.
I don't like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just thank goodness that, you know,
The state of this
older
world, am I right?
generations aren't doing that anymore because things could
Unbelievable.
get real dicey out there. Guys, thank you so much for playing. We really appreciate that
Thank you, guys. Thank
participation
you.
that we had. And you know what? We appreciate it. Thank you, that little halftime break that we had.
Beautiful.
So now, back to it, we will be introducing our next entrepreneur of the evening. She's here to brighten the futures of America, embolden the wise, change the world as we know it. And frankly, she's going to be starting with fractions. Now, I don't know about you, George, but ever since I learned those words numerator, denominator, and such, it was about 4th grade, and unfortunately, I don't think I've been the same since.
Well, actually, I didn't learn that till 11th grade, but ever since then, my life has been changed.
Well, I'm hoping you got some hearing aids on and are able to listen to this next pitch. With the solution that we needed in 4th grade, 11th grade, college algebra, it's Jenna Stout.
Whether you're a public school teacher, an intervention teacher, or a homeschool teacher, educators everywhere are looking for better, more innovative ways to teach our students the core math concepts they need for everyday life. This is where Bright Ponds Designs steps in, equipping your students with the physical math manipulatives that they need to succeed. And this is me. My name is Jenna Stout, and while I come to you today as an entrepreneur, I am also a teacher. I love teaching, whether it's summer camp or music or, yes, even math. And while I love teaching math, my students definitely did not enjoy learning it. And I think that's a pretty universal experience. 93% of American adults experience some form of math anxiety, while only 33% of senior American high schoolers are ready for collegiate level math. And COVID only made this problem worse, with kindergarten through 8th grade students seeing major drops in proficiency and even higher levels of math anxiety. But to understand how we got here, let's talk about how students learn math in the public education classroom. First, students engage with concrete materials or physical objects, and then transition to visual representations, finally arriving at abstract reasoning. It's this first step we need to take a look at, which manifests itself in 2 ways. Digital resources and physical resources. Now, digital resources are great for practicing, for repetition, but not great for teaching the concepts of the very first time the students hear it. They're not good at engaging students. And if we go to the physical resources, with their rainbow color palettes and their really simple ways of teaching and these simple concepts, they're not meant to build up to middle school. By the time you get to middle school, these products are essentially not present in the classroom. And what do the teachers think? Well, teachers believe that student engagement is one of the hardest things to get in the classroom, and that fractions are the hardest concept to teach. But through tactile tools and unique experiences, we can make math relevant to our students today, which is why Bright Pond Designs is presenting an ecosystem of math manipulatives for your students in their classrooms, starting with our premier product, the Fraction Lab, which is meant to show students how fractions are relevant to their everyday experiences. So real quick, I'm just going to walk you through what is present in this product. We have a base plate where your stackable discs rest in order to measure, add together, and subtract your fractions. On this base plate are also 3 interchangeable walls showing and measuring different increments. Now, if we take a look at the specific stackable discs, you will see 48 circles on the rim of each of these products with 3 labels that represent the percent, decimal, and fraction equivalencies so that students are beginning to build association with these 3 different written forms of fractions. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this product would be used within the classroom, perhaps with a 4th grader. You might add together a half cylinder plus a 3rd cylinder and a 12th cylinder. You might then ask your student to predict what they will put within the cylinder and how much it will total up to. From here, you would test their prediction like you would in a science experiment, see if it's right. Then you as the teacher would walk your student through how to make all of these denominators alike and then adding together the numerators for your correct answer. The Fraction Lab will be sold in a series of kits, with our starter kit being a beaker base with 3 walls, 1 whole cylinder, 2 halves, 3/3, and 4/4. And then the Fraction Lab grows with your student all the way up to 6th grade for intervention. We will also be including 6th, 8th, 12th, and 16th stackable discs. This will also come with age-appropriate video and written curriculum, taking the burden off of the teachers. If we look at the market, the global math manipulatives market is sized to about $1.42 billion. And to put that into some context, that is a small to mid-level market, which means there's not a lot of major players right now. This is a great opportunity for Bright Pond Designs to step in. It will also double by the year 2033, which means that, again, educators are looking for tools like these. If we take a look at our competitive set, you will see that the Fraction Lab is positioned as a premium product because it has a premium offering. It does things that these other tools simply cannot do. It is priced at $34.99, and this is based off of estimates done within industry experts. But this is not the only product we will be offering. Bright Pond Designs will be also offering a graph lab so that you can understand your graphs and build linear slopes with rubber bands, algebra tiles so you can build your algebraic expressions, and a number sense tool to understand your positive and negative integers. The plan for distributing this product is to start with small-scale 3D prints, getting them to schools, and having user testing, continuing to refine the design for now. But with the eventual goal to be to raise funds for a Kickstarter where we will be able to vacuum form these products, with the end goal being to injection mold them. So dive into the adventure with Bright Pond Designs as we seek to equip, engage, and empower your students no matter the classroom setting they're in. Thank you.
So I was asked a math question when I was young. It went something like Jamal had $5 and 433 was taken away. What did he have left? And the answer to my question, or the answer to that question was, well, Jamal is just broke. So, some of y'all get that on the way home. That's fine. But to be honest, I am not a math. I'm super dyslexic, so actually this would probably really help me. Shout out to my dyslexics in the room. No, for real. So with this presentation, I really enjoyed it. To be honest, I'm probably going to need to re-watch this when I get home because I need it slower. I think that's my only thing. And just because I didn't quite understand all of like the pieces and everything, exactly what they do. So I guess my one question that I did have, my overarching question, what does this actually cost to make?
Yes, so this would cost for a full kit, based on the second grade kit we had shown, $10.06, and that's our landed production.
And that's the full, like the completed kit with everything?
That's all the way up to 8ths.
Oh,
and
8th,
so
okay.
that would not be including the 12ths and 16ths, but that wouldn't be too much more expensive at all to make.
Do you know what that total number is completely?
Not yet.
Okay,
no.
not yet. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're going to make an amazing teacher. I think anyone struggling with math, I want a set. It's really, really cool. Did you come up with this idea?
Yes, so like I said, I've been a summer school math intervention teacher, and my mom, who's watching this live stream, really inspired me. She is a math teacher, and that's how I really got into this.
Awesome. So. Hi, Mom. Well, Scott's the product guy on the end here, but I mean, I'm amazed that you came up with this. This is fantastic. I never had this growing up to learn, and I really am. I think that is really, really cool. This is probably way too early. Have you ever thought about submitting a patent? Have you gone that far?
Yeah, so it's a little too early to do that now. Really, the goal is just getting my name out there, getting people aware of the product. So I'm talking with 2 different districts right now, one in Michigan, one in Ohio. So.
Okay. And who is your buyer? Who buys this then?
Yes, the buyer will
Besides
be
me.
Specifically administration in partnership with the district. So the goal would be to get a district bought in, and then they would buy for this particular kit for their second grade classroom all the way up to their 6th grade, especially good for intervention specialists and teachers. And so that would be another market as well. Tutors is another market, and homeschooling groups. Have given me a lot of good feedback on these.
Great job.
Great job. Great job. Your roadmap that you just gave, I would just flip that backwards. I would start with homeschool, and then I would go to tutoring, and I would work my way up into higher ed because you get that validation. You don't have as much red tape, as much bureaucracy to get to get in the door. I love math. I've always loved math. Hearing you talk fractions, I haven't heard some of that in a long time, but it was kind of refreshing. I know it sounds weird, but no, it was a great job. I loved it. Your $34.99 COGS, I think, is really strong. Your 1006 landed. Where is that being manufactured?
So I do have connections with the ICC. That's where I go to school, with potentially a company in Taiwan for specifically vacuum forming. So that's the goal. Yeah.
I love the ICC, and I know you have the team here. So Jim and Tom are here, and you guys.
I got my cheer squad.
You did a great job. The last thing that I wanted to ask you. And this is a comment. So the IP thing, just as a heads up, the second that you publicly disclose your idea, which that would be this, you have 12, and probably before this, you have 12 months from that time to file a provisional patent, otherwise you're not going to be able to. Okay. So just as a heads up, think back to whenever you first told somebody that it wasn't under an NDA, and that's when your clock started. So just as a heads up, because you have a phenomenal idea, protect it. Protect it, and then I love the roadmap. I mean, I think this grows with students. It gives people, you're touching, you're able, there's all the senses. Just great job. I'm a big fan of what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Jenna, thank you so much. That was absolutely fabulous. Great presentation. I know a couple people who could use some of those.
Oh, for sure, let me tell you. That college algebra was rough. Okay, anyways, now for our next contestants, they are committed to making spending money just a little more enjoyable. If you're anything like me, you go to the mall planning to browse, but you always end up buying something you don't need, and always somehow still leave with a pretzel, you will find this final pitch very useful. Please welcome our final entrepreneur of the night, Ethan Byam.
You are in the middle of an old merchant market. You look to your left over here, and there is just like a blacksmith just going away on an anvil. You look to your right, and there's a fish market. It looks all right. And you look out to the sea, and you're taking a breath. The salty air fills your lungs. And as you're just taking, a little jaunt through the town, this random guy comes sprinting up to you with 2 copper tokens in his hand. And he says, "Do you know what these can do for you?" No, but please, tell me more. I got these from a merchant just a few blocks down the road, and I got them by purchasing his products. Once I collect enough, he'll give me a reward. Getting rewarded for buying something. Now, this is something I gotta check out. Let's take a step back and analyze what just happened here. This merchant did 2 things in one action. The first thing that he did is create a very loyal customer out of the random guy that just came sprinting up to him. The second thing that he did is have extremely effective advertising. And this is something that is wildly lost in today's current loyalty market. Here's the problem. 73% of small businesses lack confidence in their advertising. And yet, they continue to pour $8,200 into it every year. And as a result, 40% of small businesses close their doors within the first 3 years. My product, Scoreboard, intends to change that. Scoreboard will provide small businesses with the technology and support that they need to create and retain loyal customers within their community and market. And this is done through the process of gamification. Now, all of this sounds great, but how's it gonna work? Our process runs off of 3 main features. The first being My Board. My Board keeps track of a customer's personal points, and they earn these points by interacting with any small business that uses our loyalty platform. What this will do is create a community of buyers that is inside of Scoreboard. And one of the ways that this board helps do that is through the Scoreboard Market feature. This is a place where small businesses can set up a virtual storefront that companies can put their products and logo in front of the public eye. That's gonna bring me to my next feature, which is the Storeboard. The Storeboard is a place where small businesses, companies, can have their customers compete against each other for rewards in a leaderboard-like fashion. What this does is a new and innovative way for small businesses to retain their customers. Our last feature is the Overboard. The Overboard is a little bit unique in that it contains every customer from every small business that uses Scoreboard loyalty. The other thing that's super unique about this board is the rewards are provided by us at Scoreboard, but they're also provided by the small businesses that want to get their product and logo in front of the public eye. So what this feature does is it creates customers for these small businesses. Another way this board does that is through the discovery feature. You can see up there on my slide, it has a map up there with all of these little icons. Those are small businesses that use our loyalty program. What this allows a customer to do is to look around their community and say, oh look, this coffee shop uses Scoreboard loyalty, and then this grocery store, and then this restaurant, oh, and my gym uses it. Suddenly what we've done is we've created a community of small businesses that customers can go and shop at, and every time that they go, they are rewarded. So in a sense, these customers' dollar is worth more. Now, all of these features are great, but there's one more that I want to touch on, and that is our pricing model. Our competitors have opted to use a fixed price monthly subscription model. This is fine, but what we have found from our research is that this is not very friendly to the revenue of small businesses because the revenue can change from season to season. Our model, however, is much different. Let me explain. In our model, a small business gets everything that they need right off the start. They don't have to worry about paying for a subscription. They don't have to worry about upgrading their package. All that we do is we just take 1% of every sale that they make. Most small businesses spend around 10% of their yearly revenue on advertising. We are just taking 1%, which will significantly decrease the amount that they are spending on advertising. Now, how much is it going to cost to get this business off the ground? For my team, it'll cost us $5,000 for our initial setup. After that, another $40,000 for further software development. After that, another $15,000 for marketing. This brings to a total of our expenses of being $60,000. But we plan to more than cover these costs within our first year. Within our first year, we intend to make $184,000. Subtract our costs from that, we get a total of $124,000. Now, why am I doing this? why am I doing this? When I was little, I always wanted to think about what am I going to do when I grow up? And the number one thing that came into my head is help people. I worked at a small business over the summer, and I saw in his eyes the passion that he has for his product and his customers. And when he could not deliver for his customers, it broke his heart, and I hated seeing it. Those small business owners are more than just people in your, just more than just business owners. They're people in your community that are looking to help you. And it breaks my heart to see when their dreams do not get accomplished. So what does this product do? We help small businesses help you. And I don't know about you, but that sounds like I'm helping a lot of people. Thank you so much.
I'm going to keep it really short. I got to tell you, the authenticity behind your message and, just coming straight from your heart, it's so evident, and that you really care and passion. And I say, if you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life, and it's clear that you're purpose-driven with what you're doing. So I love that element of it. Just a couple quick things that I love the gamification aspect, competitiveness, spirit. I mean, I'm one of the most competitive people you'll probably ever meet in your life, and it more so against myself than anyone else. But I think that it's just I want to be a better version and continue to excel and do well, and I think other people will look at it the same way.
Yep.
The one piece of advice, just creating a free sales force, incentivizing people to potentially bring in additional clients, so that you're not going out and doing it. So like maybe if you can create this program where you can have people, and if they sign up a location, maybe they get a $10 Amazon gift card or something. You figure out your lifetime value of a customer, and then you build that out to incentivize people to help grow your brand for you, because there's only one of you. And then my other questions, these are not questions, just things to think about. Contracts, I mean, are you tying them in for any period of time, like 6 months, 12 months? Is it just cancel as you go? What's your accountability? How are you gonna have visibility into their books to make sure that they're not taking cash and not paying you off of that? For marketing, just for scalability, like what's that accountability? And you don't have to answer these, these are things that I wrote down. And then the last thing, just as a cautionary metric, I would try to make it as sticky as possible, because one thing that I can see happening is it taking off, and then one of these restaurants or small businesses just takes it in-house, and they do it themselves, as opposed to having, and then they don't have to pay anyone else out. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be the right thing to do, but it's the way the world works. But I love your vision. I love your passion, and you did a great job, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Like you said, the passion behind it was amazing. People buy passion, right? People buy personality, and people buy from somebody they like and love. So I think it's great, great presentation. Number one, I also wanted to say, like he said, the gamification is just amazing. Like, I'm sitting here like, I want this app right now, because I'm gonna try to compete with all of my friends, and I like prizes, so I'm in. You got me, you sold me. So my one question, honestly, is, so you said, was it 15,000 for marketing?
Yes.
Roughly, yeah. What was how do you see yourself marketing this app exactly?
How do I see myself marketing? So with our marketing strategy, we're looking for initial setup first of all. We're looking to get 25 businesses within our first launch. We're looking to get 25 businesses in there. And so what that would look like is we would market to a singular city, right? And so we would try to create that community of buyers right there in that city. So that would be kind of our plan. How we would go about that, I've had some ideas of marketing by getting two local business people together, and then being hey, let's have a little friendly competition. Whichever one wins, they get my product free for their first month, and then I can take that with social media, and then kind of have that on there just to kind of gain a little bit of fun presence out there on the internet. So.
That's awesome. I guess just a follow-up question to what you said as well. Are you waiting specifically for 25, or are you open to doing that with 10 or 15 different restaurants?
Like I said, the target is 25. I would be comfortable with doing it with 20 or 15. Yeah, I would say I would be comfortable with going a little bit lower, but for starting, I would ideally like 25.
To be honest, in my opinion, I would really try to stick to that number. I think it's a great number, 20 to 25. It's going to build a lot of buzz, especially seeing that map as well. The more people you have on there that look included, the better. So I think you did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ethan, for your enthusiasm again, and for the little role play that you gave us here, too. So, that was fun. So I was actually going to say, how are you going to get your first 1,000 customers? You're playing both sides of the market here. You're an intermediary, and you're trying to get a bunch of downloads. You've got a lot of people in the room. You should be asking all these people to download the app. So how do you get both sides? You've got these retailers that you've got to get excited about this, plus the consumers to add one more app. How are you going to play both sides?
Right. So what the boards do is, so you have the store board or the my board, right? And that one is like specifically reaching out to customers, because they can see like, oh, well, if I just go to all these businesses, I'll just get points. So that feature is reaching out to the customers to create like this almost pool of customers, right? And then what the overboard is doing is taking from that pool of customers that we've created, and it's going to pull them into small businesses. And that's where the store board comes in, because it retains those customers. So the my board creates a pool of customers within scoreboard. The overboard pulls them into small businesses, and the store board retains those customers. Did that answer your question?
Specifically, just how are you going to get people to download the app?
To download the app. I would say that our specific feature that we're looking to do that is the My Board, because they will get more for every dollar that they spend using that. They don't actually have to be a specific member of a certain small business for that feature to benefit them. So that's kind of what we're using to be like, you should download this app because it does this for you. That's kind of the idea. Does that answer your question?
It's the hardest thing for all of us. We've got a lot of apps on our phones,
Right.
and so how do people find you is really the biggest question. The retailers will love the idea of you bringing them customers,
Right.
but getting me excited about an app, just that first engagement, that first 1,000 downloads is going to be your hardest thing.
Right. How do I encourage people to do that?
You don't have to answer it here in front of all of us.
Yeah.
It's a tough question, but but it's a good one for you to think through.
Yeah, currently I don't think I have an answer for that.
My suggestion would be POS. Like at the
POS?
if you have the retailers that are willing to integrate it, and you have something at the point of sale when they're about to check out, and you have a QR code, and they can just scan it.
Yep.
And you say, hey, you get $5 off your purchase if you do this
Gotcha.
today, or something
Gotcha.
like that, or you give an incentive, you get 100 free points if you do it today.
Yep.
They're already there.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ethan, and thank you to all of our contestants tonight. Can we get another round of applause? They all did fabulous this evening.
Yes, thank you so much, contestants, and also thank you, judges, for all your knowledge and wisdom. Right now, you guys are free to go and deliberate the winners.
And in the meantime, I would love to welcome to the stage former Shark Tank contestant Taylor Miner with his business Third Wave Water.
Hello. So I was in your guys' shoes like 20 years ago. I had Dr. Wheeler in microeconomics. I don't know, anyone here have that? Had Dr. Rich in accounting 1. I had Dr. Rich in accounting 2. I dropped accounting 2 and switched to a marketing major. Anybody do that? Yeah, so a lot can happen in 20 years. So Shark Tank was 9 years ago. But really the charge, the excitement I want to talk to you guys about is don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to go out there and make mistakes. We got on Shark Tank, our business idea. We came up with the idea of the business, and Shark Tank emailed us 4 months later. And then we aired in under a year, right? That's not a normal business pitch. That's not something you should plan on. But the reason that happened was because for 10 years before that, my business partner and I both had failed multiple times in multiple businesses. And those failures, in the end, they weren't a fail. They were us learning, us getting a better understanding, us learning more about ourselves and businesses. So once the right opportunity came up, yeah, it flowed. We were in a flow state. We made it happen. So I want to tell all of the contestants, great job. These are much better than any pitch I did in college. You guys, the presentations were great. The sharks were, or the judges were nicer than sharks. So the last thing I want to do is just tell a little bit about Shark Tank, because kind of that's what, once you were on Shark Tank, that's kind of what everyone wants to know about. So you know that really cool when the music is playing and everyone comes walking out? Well, they don't play any music when you are doing the pitch. So you walk in complete silence, and then you stand there for a minute, just looking, so they can get their shots. So we did that, and then they said, hey, you guys opened the door wrong, go back and do it again. And it was like, oh man. It was, I'm like, man, we looked pretty stupid, let's do it again. And so, yeah, the other thing that paid off for us, and I think especially at a place like Cedarville, I was always told that, hey, you should be a good person, be moral, have a character, even if you're not going to make money. And what I learned was, through reading books like Good to Great, where they have level 5 leaders, is, hey, actually, you know what? Just by being honest, being fair, being truthful, it pays. You benefit from it. So when we were on the show, we did as much preparation as possible. We read all of their books. They're asking us questions, really tough questions. I feel like, I'm like, okay, we're not going to get a deal. How do I walk away with this with some dignity? But because of how we answered, because of how we presented ourselves, they actually are like, oh, you told us this and you could have lied, and wow, you were honest. And it was like, well, that's kind of, we wouldn't have, but because of that, that's why we got a deal on the show. That's why things happened. If it was because they liked us, because we were straight shooters. So just as you go out there, just think, hey, you know what? Be who you are. Keep that kind of Christ-centered moral compass that you have. It will serve you well. And yeah, if anyone ever wants to come up to talk to me after the show, I'll tell you all about it. But thanks for having me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Will Woods, and I'm the president of Entrepreneurs for Christ. I want to thank you for giving us your time tonight, a Friday night Little Sibs weekend business preview day. I really appreciate it. The students out here pitching tonight are builders. They're building things. They're solving problems. They're helping people. And people are doing this all the time out in the marketplace. And what does this do? What do builders do? I want everybody to do this real quick. Most of you might have it, but in your phone, in your pocket, pull out your phone. I want to answer a question. What does this do? It changes culture. And if you open your phone, there's something that probably everybody has, and if you don't have it, it's probably a better thing. There's an app called Instagram. What does Instagram do? It changes culture every single day. Then the question is it changing the culture for good? Entrepreneurs, innovators, and builders in the marketplace are changing culture through the innovation they make in the marketplace. But are we changing culture for the good? That's the mission behind Entrepreneurs for Christ. We want to go into the marketplace, have builders and entrepreneurs go into the marketplace to change culture, to glorify God through the innovations like the students are bringing here tonight. That idea stemmed out of what George and Emma talked about at the Hustle House. Although, fun name, a little bit of a joke, it's this idea of bringing together a group of biblically founded guys, Christians, people who have the same foundation but are like-minded and wanting to go out into the marketplace and to change culture and glorify God with the talents that were given to them. And so at Entrepreneurs for Christ, we are a for-student organization run by student organization, where we want to go out and bring together this community of biblically founded, like-minded individuals, builders, innovators within businesses, entrepreneurs who own businesses, to go out into the marketplace and change the culture for God. And so we're starting right here in Cedarville, and we're actually launching a second chapter at Liberty University and looking to launch another chapter through the spring and into the fall at Ohio State. We want to see this nation be a more godly nation. And the way we can do that is by changing culture through the marketplace. So I want you all to join us, and let's build the kingdom together. Support those who are pitching, putting themselves out here in a Shark Tank-like format. We all know what the judges like on Shark Tank. They're brutal. These guys, they're giving feedback, but they're pushing them to go out into the marketplace. And that's what we want. So I want to introduce our next speaker. He's going to be sharing his testimony. Josh, I'd like to see you up here on stage. Give him a round of applause.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you for having me. This is a huge honor and privilege to be able to come up here and to share a little bit about what I have experienced and what God's done in my life. I wanted to tell a little story. You see, there's an interesting moment after every pitch. The talking stops. And everybody waits and wonders, what was it worth? Moments like that aren't just in competitions like this, though. I believe that a lot of us live there, waiting, wondering if what we've built and who we are is enough. I learned this and realized this earlier than I expected. We just watch people pitch some fantastic ideas, and I love being here. I love the energy that these people bring to the campus, and I believe that they're going to go on to do some great things. But pitching isn't just restricted to business. Whether you're an entrepreneur or not, we're all pitching something, a version of ourselves. Competent, put together, easy to talk to. And this is where my story comes in. This is where I found myself. I was pitching a version of myself. I grew up in a family where my dad taught us the value of hard work, and I'm very grateful to him for that. Sometimes, it'd be Saturday morning, 7 a.m., and I'm sleeping, and I get a little rub on my shoulder, and he's like, Joshua. I'm like, what? And he's like, hey. And I'm like, what? He's like, we gotta go fix the fence down by the waterfront. And I'm like, okay, Dad, okay, I'll be right there. But basically, this value of hard work was vital to who I became, because I learned how to work hard, and I learned the impact and the strength of hard work. And so I worked hard not only to do things, but I also worked hard to manage my appearance and what people thought about me. I learned how to appear okay long before life broke. And I learned how to be the version that people wanted. And then, when I was 13, we got a phone call that would completely change the trajectory and the foundation of my adolescence. The doctor called my parents. My brother hadn't been feeling great that day, and he said, hey, you guys need to get to the hospital right now. So my dad got in the car and rushed to the hospital with my brother. And in moments like that, there's questions. There's, what's going on, especially as a 13-year-old kid. You don't quite understand everything yet. I still remember vividly walking into that ER room and just being confronted by what hit me at the time, honestly, is confusion, just uncertainty. And in the face of this, I didn't quite know how to react. My brother was a stubborn guy. The doctor said he wasn't supposed to live more than a month and a half, but he fought through the initial difficulties, and he fought on for another year. Eventually, the cancer that he had went into remission, but then there was a second diagnosis, and everything began over again. The visits to hospitals, the hours apart as families, the questions around what's going on, why is this happening to us? As a kid, you often don't imagine that it's going to be you. That's something you read about in books, but it doesn't seem like it could possibly be real. And all of a sudden, there it was, and it was very real. After a year, another year, he ultimately passed away. And then, about a year later, we were at his graveside, and we got another phone call. And it said, "Hey, your mom has been diagnosed with breast cancer." And in that moment, the same questions arise, doubled this time. Lord, why? What is going on? What is the purpose behind all of this? And my mom was also incredibly strong. She actually completed her master's in nursing online here at Cedarville while continuing to homeschool my siblings some, and also just continuing to be a strong and incredible mother. But after a year of fighting, she also passed away. And so, as is natural, there's this season of grief and still somewhat confusion that comes. But moments like that don't just bring out grief, they reveal what you're standing on. You see, I grew up in a Christian household, and I knew the Bible, I knew the gospel, I knew who Jesus was. I went to church, I did the things, always working hard to pitch one version of myself to people at church. But then I was also pitching another version of myself to other people in ways that contradicted what I said I believed. And so as I'm in this moment, and all of a sudden, it's revealing what I've been standing on, I realized that I had to make a fundamental shift. I started being honest before God and before people, seeking to live a holistic life. I started to put my faith and fully surrender to God in a way that I hadn't before. And again, incredibly thankful to my dad, because talking to him was really the turning point, and he walked me through all of this. But that turning point wasn't just me becoming more religious. It was me becoming more honest. Because when we're pitching this version of ourselves, we're doing it because we believe that we have to overcome and exceed who we are. We believe that we're not enough. And the truth is, we're not. The truth is that alone, when moments like that hit, when everything goes out the window, we cannot rely on ourselves. And so we all need to turn and have something bigger to rely on. And that's where God comes in. Going back to, I turned back to this thing that I had heard but had never really fully surrendered to. And this thing was that we're not good enough with our pitches, and we need Jesus. And so God sent his son down to earth to die on a cross, to provide forgiveness for our sins if we would seek to abandon our pitch and lean on him. And he was buried in the grave for 3 days, and then he rose and ascended to be with God the Father. This is crucial, and this is the core message of the gospel. And it's interesting because it connects so well to business and to entrepreneurship. Because oftentimes, as entrepreneurs, we want to be self-sufficient and independent. But when hard things happen, that's going to break. And so we need something bigger that we can lean on. Jesus isn't just another investor. He's not just another add-on. He has to be the foundation. God doesn't care about you. He cares about your pitch. So I'd like to leave you guys with 2 messages tonight. One message and one question. The first is, if you find yourself in a place like where I was throughout my adolescence, trying to perform, trying to appear one way, you're at a Christian college, go to chapel, I would like you to seriously ask yourself about whether the appearance you're putting on is conducive to what you believe. And I'd love to talk to you. I know that there's plenty of other students who would love to talk to you as well and walk you through that process of growing in that. And then the question that I'd like to ask, and this is a question that we all have to ask ourselves, is what are we preaching, and where is our faith put? At the end of the day, life is fragile, life is short. What matters isn't what other people think or this image you're putting across. What matters is what you do with the time that you have. So, I'd like to just close with a quick prayer, and then I'll hand it off to the team. Dear Lord, we come before you and we're just thankful for the gift of your Son on the cross. We're thankful that we don't have to pitch something that's not what we are, and that we can live in wholeness through you if we repent of that self-reliance, Lord. And we thank you for everything that you're doing, and we thank you that we have this opportunity to continue to walk with you, Lord. Thank you for sending your Son to die on the cross for us. In your name, amen. Alrighty, now we're going to hear who the winner was.
Josh, thank you for that truly impactful testimony and the good news of the gospel that Christ redeems Josh's story. Christ can redeem your story as well. So we are going to be talking winners here. Now we're going to shift gears, but actually we're going to talk about the giveaway winners. So I know
all right.
hopefully all
Who's
of you
excited?
guys, hopefully all of you guys came here tonight because you wanted to see our awesome pictures. Maybe you got an email from PSB saying there would be a giveaway. Maybe you're here, shout out extra credit. But now's that time, guys. So George, take it away.
Okay, here we go. Now the winner of the JBL speaker is, drum roll please, Meredith Parker. Meredith, do we have a Meredith in here? Okay, now the winner of the JBL headphones is Abigail Paulding. Okay, and the winner of the Apple Pencil is Andrew Valpati. Oh, sorry. Congratulations, you winners.
Yeah, we can only hope any of those winners are in the house tonight.
And if you're in the house.
And you know what? If you are, please come down front. Show your face.
But if you have that same first name, whoever gets here first gets it. So.
You think
no,
maybe,
I'm just kidding. Don't
you think
do that.
maybe they could go to us?
Yeah, maybe us. We deserve it.
All right.
There you go.
We will now be welcoming Dr. Carrie Oberbrunner up to stage.
Good to see you all. How you doing? Awesome, awesome. I'm a little bit ticked that I didn't get a smoothie. That was good. That was good. Notice I didn't use the straw. So there's a guy named Spencer Silver who wanted to create an aerospace glue that would be super, super strong. And instead of it working, he failed and thought that he was a loser until 6 years later, a guy put that adhesive in his church hymnal so that it wouldn't fall out. And that is what we know as a Post-it note. You get that? So tonight, I want everybody who didn't win to not think that you failed. In fact, let's give all of them a hand. Because it takes a lot of guts to come up here in front of your peers and put yourself out there. So I'm super proud of you. They've been working on this since October, and they had to beat out a lot of other great pitches as well. I want to show a couple slides on the screen super quick. Women of Impact gave $4,000 to put on this event. So let's give them a hand, yes. And Dr. Heyman, Dean Heyman is over here. Let's give him a hand. Plaster School Business Dean. Yes, thank you. Awesome. I love the way that they support everybody. And it was so cool to see people other than business majors up here, too. In fact, entrepreneurship is a mindset, not a major or a minor. So everybody can compete. And EFC, super excited for what God's doing in and through you. So great job. Let's show one last picture before we bring the judges. Let's have these people just come on up on stage super quick. These are your fellow students who've been working on this for about a year. So come on up quick, yes. Come on up. And Ben Ormsby is still on drugs because he had surgery today, like legit, like he literally had surgery today and wanted to come. Yes, yes. So these amazing students, they love creativity, they love serving you, and I'm just so proud of each one of you. So thank you for serving. All right. Now the judges are going to come back up. You guys can grab a seat. Judges and host, do you want to take over? Kick me off. Go ahead. Come on over. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Oberbrunner.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, pitchers, now is the time you have all been waiting for and longing for this entire evening. Let's announce the winners.
Okay, it's time. Now, in third place, drum roll, we need a drum roll, okay. In third place, we have Twin Worlds.
And in second place, drum roll please, Twin Centuries.
Okay. Now, in first place, winning the $1,000 grand prize, and the winner of this year's pitch is Bright Pond Design.
Congratulations, Jenna, and thank you everyone for coming out tonight. Have a great night.